This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
All right, off we go for another 30 minutes of ag education at its finest. And this here, my younger brother Kenny, I am Ray. All kidding aside though, we now have a more pressing issue facing some dear friends of ours in South Georgia.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up, in the aftermath of Hurricane Idalia, farmers face an uphill battle to salvage what remains before the impending harvest season. Join us as we document the struggle, strength, and unwavering faith of those determined to rebuild. Exploring Southeast Georgia's diverse crops with Georgia Farm Bureau's Board of Directors. From tobacco fields to peanut farms, their unique journey to promote and protect farming.
Plus, Georgia's own Hunter Grayson, reality TV star, full-time farmer, and accomplished musician. Join us as we dive into his quest for love, passion for farming, and musical talents that keep him singing his own tune. These stories and so much more starting right now on the Farm Monitor.
Although nowhere near as devastating as Hurricane Michael, Idalia's impact on Georgia agriculture is catastrophic and vast, to say the least. Our cameras were on the scene less than 24 hours after the storm carved its path. And as Damon Jones reports, the images are a tough pill to swallow.
With wind speeds topping 50 miles an hour, Hurricane Idalia carved a path of destruction through South Georgia, wreaking havoc on a number of farming operations along the way. And while it's sure to be significant, the final loss is still being calculated.
Our extension service is out trying to meet with farmers and see what the extent is. I mean, half of the state's corn crop isn't in yet. It's tough, especially in this Lowndes, Brooks, Clinch, Eccles County area. Cook County took it on the chin as well.
With agriculture being so diverse in the area, everything from cotton to pecans were affected. In fact, over at Shiloh Pecan Farms, the losses include around 10,000 trees and a significant portion of this year's crop.
Probably half of the crop is on the ground. It's thrashed off. None of it's mature enough. So that's a direct loss. It feels as though it's 50%. And especially if you add two clusters of nuts that are in the trees that are twisted, damaged, that haven't hit the ground, and from past experience, you're going to have some of that too. So I feel pretty certain that half the crop is laid to waste.
However, farmers will have little time to mourn as they must try and salvage what they can with harvest season right around the corner.
Get it out of the way. It's just, right now we're going through sawing them off at the trunk where they're laid over. If it's leaning more than 30 degrees, those trees from past experience, they're not viable to try to post up. So that's the first criteria. We saw that off, and then we skitter them out. But I have to get it out of the orchard to be able to get back in and continue our normal work of preparing for harvest, which is mowing, herbicide, and ground control. That we need to be ready for nuts to start falling on some varieties as early as 3 weeks from now.
With all the crop loss and structural devastation, these communities are in need of government assistance to help them rebuild. And while it won't happen overnight, the process of getting them help is already in progress.
When the governor issues the declaration, he's going to work in conjunction with our partners in Washington. That's going to free up some emergency loans and that kind of thing. But that's also going to begin the process of trying to get some disaster funds appropriated to these farmers. I do know that our two U.S. senators have already reached out to the administration in Washington, trying to shepherd all the resources. So this is really just a all hands on deck kind of moment.
Even though there is plenty of frustration and disappointment following the storm, the only thing for farmers to do now is try and keep moving forward.
We're going to plan on the faith that the good Lord is going to let the sun shine, that we're going to get rain, and that God's going to bless our efforts, because the American people are dependent on us to feed them. We just have to pick up the pieces, and farmers are some of the most resilient people there are on earth, and farmers have to be optimists, otherwise they wouldn't do what they do. But it is tough, and these things take years to overcome.
Reporting from Lowndes County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Meantime, the EPA's new Waters of the U.S. rule disappoints farmers. This according to the American Farm Bureau Federation. Senior Government Affairs Director Courtney Briggs says the rule lacks fairness and clarity, even after addressing Supreme Court's concerns. Briggs highlights continued confusion due to vague policies impacting landowners and says the new rule falls short of durability. Despite its displeasure, American Farm Bureau aims to equip members for successful adaptation to this rule change.
So the challenge now is to make sure our members understand the rules in the specific states that they live in, because there's still litigation that has enjoined the 2023 WOTUS rule in 27 states. So that is really our focus right now, is to make sure that our members are well equipped to adapt to this new rulemaking.
Well, one of the missions of Georgia Farm Bureau is to safeguard and boost the state's ag industry. To fulfill this mission, organization leaders visited Bacon County to gain firsthand knowledge of the local agricultural landscape. Our John Holcomb tagged along and tells us what they learned.
Down in southeast Georgia recently, Georgia Farm Bureau's Board of Directors got an up-close and personal look at the different crops that are grown in the region. It's an experience GFB President Tom McCall says allows those that protect and promote agriculture a chance to see a different perspective they may not have ever gotten to witness before.
Farm Bureau's job is to protect and promote agriculture. And I wanted the board to be able to see firsthand operations. You know, we don't grow a whole lot of tobacco in North Georgia. And we were fortunate enough that Daniel and Patricia invited us to their farm. He grows cotton tobacco, mainly tobacco, and peanuts and corn. And I wanted to help the board understand what actually happens on a tobacco farm, and all the labor and electricity and the gas and all it costs to produce tobacco, along with cotton and corn and peanuts. But I think the most interesting thing today has been the whole tobacco process.
We all talk about each other's crop, and we always discussing each other's crop when we meet. But this was an opportunity to bring them down here and show them kind of what we do. They've heard me talk about cooking tobacco or harvesting tobacco, but they've never actually seen the process, and it's hard to explain. And getting them to be able to view it, see how it comes and goes, was just fun, you know. And plus it gets everybody together. Now, we grow cotton and peanuts, and we looked at both crops of that, and we looked at my neighbor's blueberries. It's a big blueberry growing area. This gives them a different region of the state to see what's really going on.
According to Johnson, they've been growing tobacco for 40 years now, and says in those 40 years, a lot has changed, all except for his love for the crop.
We grow 550 acres of flue-cured tobacco. All of our tobacco is made for cigarettes. That's where it goes to. And this is our 40th crop of growing tobacco. It's been our mainstay on the farm, and you know, we've tried to add and make adjustments in equipment to make it easier, and we have. We've gone about as far as we go as far as making it better. So it's just our way of life, and you know, we're in a region down here that there's not but two things that really made this part of the country, and that's pine, timber, and tobacco. And we're fortunate enough to be able to still grow it, so we enjoy growing it.
As Johnson stated, Georgia used to be a big tobacco-producing state, but he says over the years, the acres have dwindled down due to regulations, buyouts, and even labor challenges, as tobacco is a very hands-on crop.
Georgia used to grow a lot. I can't remember what the top acre was, probably 40,000 acres. Now we're down to like 8,000 or 9,000 acres. Where North Carolina is still in the 250,000 acre range. But then you got labor. Tobacco is a labor-intense crop, and a lot of older growers took the chance to get out of production when the buyout come through, and they did, and I don't blame them. We were still young enough that we could still grow tobacco and still produce it, and it's helped us stay on the farm.
Reporting in Alma for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
After the break, one-on-one with Georgia's own Hunter Grayson, the farmer who ventured on a reality TV quest for love. And while his heart may not have found romance, his passion for farming and music shines bright.
I shop at the farmer's market every Saturday because I love seeing the actual people behind what I'm buying. Whether I have fresh vegetables or local honey on my list, UGA's College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences has taught me so much about safe and sustainable food systems and the many benefits of purchasing from Georgia farmers and producers.
Back home, my grandmother had a garden, and I really wanted to keep growing my own herbs and veggies when I moved here to the city. Being in this small space made the idea seem almost impossible of gardening. After searching online, I found some pretty cool resources from UGA Cooperative Extension on gardening and containers. I had so much fun experimenting with growing herbs, lettuce, and other greens, and even tomatoes, which I don't like much, right here on my balcony.
One thing I wish people knew about farming, it isn't just about growing, it really is about providing. I'm proud that the produce coming out of my fields feeds neighbors in rural and urban Georgia. And I'm grateful for my county extension agent, who keeps me connected to the latest agriculture research coming from CAES. Their dedication helps my farm stay operational year after year.
We take our kids apple picking in North Georgia every year. They are always so excited to pick fruit straight from the tree. While many do get eaten before we even get home, we've loved UGA Extension's recommendations for preserving leftovers. My son even made his own apple butter last season. As much as we love living in the city, it's great to have a change of scenery and teach our children where their food comes from.
From the food we eat, to the water we drink, to the clothes we wear. Locally grown in Atlanta and across the state, agriculture is everywhere. Let the University of Georgia College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences help you find it.
Well, this farmer, Hunter Grayson of Watkinsville, wanted a wife. So he went on TV and put his life out there for the world to see. Fast forward to present day, no more cameras, no more jet setting around the country, and sorry to say, no wife for Hunter. However, as I recently found out when I ventured to his humble abode, Hunter's true love, or loves, will always be his farm, his horse, and yes, even those fickle cows.
We've gone through so much real life in such a short amount of time. For me, it made this experience so much more genuine.
So the million-dollar question. All these beautiful women in Oconee County, Georgia, university not too far away, and you decide to go on a reality show. Why reality TV to try to find the love of your life?
I reckon nothing else has worked so far, so I thought maybe that might have been the golden ticket. And you know, as I'm getting older, I told everybody that I was so busy trying to build my business and continue building my farm that I forgot to look for somebody to build it with. And you know, the thing with the University of Georgia is, as we get older, that dating pool gets younger and younger, and sooner or later you just gotta pull the trigger in a different direction.
While the TV show might not have led him to lasting romance, Hunter's first true love remains steadfast: his farm and all the animals that occupy it. In 2001, Hunter and his dad established Black Hat Ranch. Over the years, his commitment and dedication to the ranch grew, and in 2009, he assumed the reins, becoming the driving force behind the operation. His roots in the cattle industry run deep, tracing back to before the Civil War. With a heritage rich in farming and livestock, it's no surprise that he carries forward this legacy with pride and passion, something Hunter hopes was portrayed throughout the show.
As an agriculturalist, what I wanted to do was put our best foot forward for animal agriculture, especially in the state of Georgia. It's one of our biggest industries, and we're always shown in not always the best light, you know, and I wanted to make sure that whatever we did here, we did the best we could to show that we were doing everything we can to, you know, put a good product in front of the American consumer and shed light on what we do day-to-day wise, you know.
Do you feel like you succeeded at that?
Oh yeah, it's you know, there's always scenes and stuff that you see and you're watching back and you're like, oh gosh, I wish we'd have done that a little bit different, but I didn't do anything on the show that I can't hang my hat on, and that's something I'm very, very proud of and very grateful for the, you know, people in post and everything that they did.
Pretty cool guy, isn't he? You know what else is cool about Hunter? With his quest for love in this gorgeous ranch, it's actually provided tons of inspiration for his songwriting. You heard me, songwriting. You see, in addition to being a full-time farmer, Hunter is also an accomplished recording artist.
Summertime, the Florida line was on our mind. You were over when the song came on that night.
150 shows a year, you know, playing all over the Southeast and award shows and things. It's been quite a wild ride, and I don't do well with idle time. I get bored easily, so I like to fill all my time and do something fun in the process.
But no desire whatsoever to forego farm life, forego reality TV shows, and make music a full-time job?
No, I love the music. Music's a passion for me. It's, you know, I don't want to shut any door in any face, but I can say without a shadow of a doubt that, you know, I don't foresee music being my lifelong career path. It's my break from reality. You know, it's a
Pun
good
intended.
Yes, it's a good break from the cows.
Speaking of beyond the cattle on his own property, Hunter's influence extends to over 250 cows spread across 3 counties. And while the quest for love on global TV might not have panned out as expected, Hunter's heart remains true to the rhythms of ranch life, those majestic cattle, and the endless possibilities that lie ahead.
You know, growing up, I thought you had to have the 10-year plan and everything lined out, and shoot, if I went along with that plan that God loves to laugh at, I'd have been married 2 years ago and already have my second kid. So, you know, I try not to have too many long-term ironed out plans, but I'm always gonna have cattle, and I love to rope. I love to, you know, go to jackpots and rodeos and hang out with all my buddies, and that's where my roots are, is in the agricultural industry, and so I'll never be too far removed from that at any point in time in my life.
Good news, ladies, he is still single. Now don't forget, if you missed any part of the story or others on today's program, you can still see them in their entirety at our YouTube channel, The Farm Monitor. Plenty of content and a variety of subjects to choose from, and best of all, the archive goes all the way back to 2009.
And while you're there, keep clicking and like the Farm Monitor Facebook page. Also, if you have a story idea, or if you just want to leave us a message or comment or suggestion, send us a message either on Facebook or at the address on your screen. That is news@farm-monitor.com. Up next, we're taking you on a blooming adventure in Houston County. The journey from FFA to flower farming, and this young lady's quest to preserve farmland in this growing community.
My name is James Neville. I'm a 4th generation farmer. My dad didn't farm, but my granddad and my uncles do, and then my granddad's dad before him. And I learned pretty much everything I learned from farming with my granddad. He passed in 2018, but for about 11 years up until that point, you know, I spent almost every day with him learning how to farm, and I think he liked teaching me, and I liked learning from him. And so he only farmed in Bullitt County, and when I kind of started taking over some of his stuff, you know, farmed the Bullitt County land, and there just wasn't a whole lot more to get in Bullitt, so I had to branch out to other counties, and now we're farming in, me and my other 3 employees, in 3 counties, Candler, Tattnall, and some in Evans, and so we're kind of widespread now. I don't think any farmer really does it for themselves, at least not entirely. It's always for the next person, the next generation. Preservation of the land is what we live to do and work to do. And so I actually have 2 boys, twins, and I don't know if they want to farm or not, but I want to make sure that we're doing all we can to ensure that they have a chance to. just like my granddad before me, you know, did it so that someone else could take the spot if they wanted. So on our farm, we primarily grow cotton and peanuts, and we try to rotate the peanuts so a third of the crop will be in peanuts each year, and 2/3 will be in cotton for a rotation purposes. And we also grow about 100 and something acres of sunflowers for mainly for birds. So we do some things like we cover crop all of our land in you know, wheat and rye and oats blended through the winter to hold the ground together and keep hold weed pressure back and preserve moisture and different things like that. And then of course we keep the rotation with our peanuts, try to move them around where disease doesn't build up over time. And this is a pivot field here, and we use irrigation moisture probes. That's one you see sticking up right there that kind of gives us a projection of, tells us the current moisture and then where it's going and how long it'll be before it needs water applied and how much to apply. So what I like about being a farmer would probably take days to describe, but if I had to sum it up, I'd say there's just something about putting something in the ground and knowing that I can only do so much, and the rest of it has to be from the Creator to send the rains or to, you know, send the sun and make everything line up to where there is a final product to gather in the end. And there's something peaceful about that, knowing that I only had to depend on myself for a little bit, and the rest is, you know, out of my hands. And for me, there's peace in that.
Finally this week, a Houston County family is determined to save their farmland. So much so, they're embarking on a new adventure to bring agritourism to Perry in the form of a new U-Pick flower farm.
Yeah, it's called Arena Acres. Jennifer Parson caught up with the farm's owner to see how it's going and what they have planned for the future.
I have zinnias, cosmos, 4 different types of celosia, and then some herbs.
It's the first year for Arena Acres, Samantha Lineberger's U-Pick farm in Houston County.
Pairs of clippers as well?
Just one.
Just one. I have sunflowers right behind me, some dahlias. We're going to continue to grow sunflowers through the fall. We're actually planting more. We planted more this week and then in a couple of weeks. So every 2 weeks we're planting sunflowers.
It's something unique for Perry, offering visitors the chance to choose their own flowers and create their own arrangements. And Stephanie has big plans for the future.
I was really big in FFA growing up. I grew up on a farm, and so agriculture's always been in my life. Thank you. Have a great evening.
In high school, her dreams to own her own business blossomed during her after-school job at a local florist.
I was on the floriculture CDE team with FFA, and I just loved flowers. I loved designing. I always thought, okay, I'm going to be a florist.
But instead of being stuck in a building with plants all day, she preferred to be a little closer to where the plants bloom. And she says that's where the dream of becoming a flower farmer blossomed.
And letting people come and pick their own and have the joy in me, be able to spread and share the joy while being outside and growing something.
She's a 4th-generation farmer and has learned her love of ag from her family.
My great-granddad was a dairy farmer. This is actually his land. It's been in the family for a long time, since the early 1900s.
And she wants to keep it that way.
As Houston County grows, as people move here and a lot of the farmland is starting to slowly turn into houses, it's very important to keep what's left of the farmland, to show the people that are moving to Houston County how important agriculture is, where your food comes from, where your clothes comes from.
It's a risk that Samantha and her family were willing to take, and they were excited for the future. They've just planted pumpkins behind me. They're hoping to have a pumpkin patch this fall.
We have about an acre of pumpkins that we have. We have over 1,000 pumpkin plants planted. I have been told it's difficult to grow pumpkins here in Middle Georgia just because of the heat, but we're going to try it.
With their plans to expand and grow, they hope to become an agritourism hotspot right here in Central Georgia.
But it's nice to have a little bit of what we call paradise right here in the middle of what's getting developed.
In Houston County, I'm Jennifer Parson reporting for the Farm Monitor.
Jennifer, thanks so much. Unfortunately, that is our show for this week.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Stay safe.